Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Quote, "Are you content now?" said the caterpillar. "Well, I would like to be a little larger," said Alice. 3 inches is such a wretched height to be." "It is a very good height indeed," said the caterpillar angrily, rearing itself up as it spoke. It was exactly 3 inches high. "But I'm not used to it," pleaded poor Alice. The caterpillar took the hookah out of his mouth, yawned, and shook itself. Then it got down off the mushroom and crawled away in the grass, remarking as it went, "One side will make you grow taller, and the other side will make you grow shorter." What an odd statement to make, Alice thought to herself. One side of what? "Of the mushroom," said the caterpillar, just as she had asked it aloud. And in another moment, it was out of sight. Alice looked thoughtfully at the mushroom for a minute, trying to make out which were the 2 sides of it, as it was perfectly round. She found this a very difficult question. She could hear frogs, birds, animals all around her, but she could not see anyone to help. And the other caterpillars had left too. Feeling there was nothing left to do, Alice stretched her arms around the mushroom as far as they would go and broke off a bit of the edge with each hand. And now, which is which? End quote. Which is which indeed. And what if we change the options to one side will make you a lovely meal and the other side will make you dead? One would think in this situation that the one in question might carefully consider both sides before making a choice. One would have to be absolutely sure they chose the right side before moving ahead, for if they chose wrong, unlike Alice, there would be no going back. Unless, of course, one didn't want to go back, and then I suppose they'd choose the wrong side. Unless, of course, for such a person, right was considered wrong and wrong was considered right. Then I suppose we'd be making a decision about the person, wouldn't we? Either way, it should make for a very interesting party. And that is one invitation we would have to turn down in the most polite of fashions. Otherwise, I'm Holly.
I'm Leslie.
And we would be dead. Leslie.
Hey, Holly.
Hey, Fiends. Welcome finally back to part 2 of our Thanksgiving case, the Leongatha mushroom murders. I know you guys are all excited to hear where it goes. This week, we'll delve into the why and how Erin Patterson did what we all know she did. And if you haven't listened to part 1 yet, you should definitely pause this right now and come back when you have, because there is a lot of pertinent information in that episode, and we won't have time to revisit it all this week. So go ahead and pause right now, and we'll wait for you.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. Very good. Well, I hope everyone has been able to enjoy a delicious holiday meal this past week without picking every shred of mushroom out of it.
I know.
Hope we haven't ruined it for you. Now, as someone who cooks mushrooms a lot, I can say that this one left me a little bit queasy and paranoid. Not going to lie. How about you?
For real.
You're like extra carefully looking at them before you cook them.
Wait, something I just realized, and I don't know why it didn't hit me. So the last time we recorded for part 1, I stopped at the little cafe by your house.
Yes. Okay.
Right? And the owner there makes delicious soup. And he had made this delicious soup that day, and it was a mushroom soup. And it was so good. And then we went to do this episode, and I was like, oh man, I totally forgot about that.
Am I going to be all right?
Yeah. It's just funny that was the soup he made.
I know. It does make you think though, right? So I guess it did leave us both a little queasy and paranoid.
It sure did.
And queasy and paranoid, they're not really the best ingredients for a fresh face. Don't leave you looking your best. I'd say I'm looking pretty green around the gills.
Yeah.
Still weeks later, terrible. Now, I've tried to bring a little color back into my cheeks every way I know how, but nothing really seems to work. I guess I could try like improving my sleep habits or drinking more water, but that sounds like very hard.
Sure. Yeah.
And I like a quick fix. I don't know about you, but give it to me really fast. And I have heard of something I'd rather try, a super secret ingredient that has been whispered about lately. I have heard that all we need are just a few precious drops of
validation, a hill worth dying on.
I was not ready. No. Did you watch all the new Stranger Things?
I did.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I was not prepared. Okay, validation, got it. And best of all, our friends can give us that ingredient totally free of charge.
What? How?
Scare the shit out of you. And then you just are younger because it just sucks you back in your life. But how, you must be asking yourself? Well, I will tell you. Simply head on over to Spotify right before the professional rant that I have to say. Head on over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and or a friendly review. It really is the only way to move this podcast forward. Ratings and reviews equal attention, attention equals support, and support equals more and better content for all of you. But if you just can't wait for more We Would Be Dead in your life, don't worry, you don't have to. You can support us over on Patreon. There, for just a few dollars a month, you will gain access to our entire catalog of 30-minute horror movies, our special minisodes, our weekly after show, Host Mortem, which is available in both video and audio formats. Maybe you want to see our faces, maybe you don't. Both are okay, and you will get one of those this week because this is the second part and we won't spoil any secrets.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh. You'll also get a special gift in the mail from us if you're a patron. You get the opportunity to participate in giveaways, some special merch deals, and on-air toast dedicated just to you, and more. We have more exclusive content in the works for all of you, our beloved patrons. We've been talking about some fun Christmas stuff that's possible. We'll see what we can do. We also want to rework our Let's Talk Doc series in a slightly different way, but we'd like to get it back because we really like talking to you guys. So if any of that sounds like something you would enjoy, get in there and become a patron.
Yeah, get on in.
Get in there. And if you're already one of our beloved patrons, please let us know if there's anything you'd like to see or hear from us. We love requests. We can't promise that we'll do all of them, but we do love hearing them.
Sure.
Yeah. In all honesty, we are here thanks to our patrons. So come on over and be part of the We Would Be Dead family. And if all of that is a little too much for you, you can simply follow us on social media. We are at Would Be Dead Pod anywhere and everywhere you get your content. You can like our posts, share our posts, like and share our posts.
Ooh.
Yeah, do that one. You can leave us a comment, post about your favorite episode. Let us know when you're listening. Tell a friend. Tell a neighbor. Tell Aunt Mary Stu's friend, who is now inexplicably coming to our Christmas dinner as well every year, which is doubly weird because she was never related to any of us. But like, we don't really question it because she brings top shelf booze and loves to talk shit. And honestly, she's more fun than half of the real family. What's her name?
Ooh. Aunt Connie.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do we already use Mary Alice?
I feel like we probably did. We can keep Mary Alice. Let's do that one.
That was for her. That was for you, Mary Alice.
Yeah.
Then your friends Aunt Mary Stu and Mary Alice can become fiends and we can all hang out together.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We call her Grandmare.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, I think that's all I have in the way of news right now. Leslie, do you have anything to add before we begin?
No, I don't.
Good. Let's
I think Vecna has left my system.
I think it's been exercised. Yeah. He was in there for a minute, man. He took over.
I thought he was going to be our neighbor this week.
Honestly, lucky you.
Yeah. Thank God
lucky
Aunt Mary
you.
Sue did not.
Thank God.
Bring Vecna.
Maybe she did and we just don't know it yet.
Maybe she didn't. Both are okay.
Yeah, both are all right. Anyway, provided nobody else breaks their finger or gets tragically ill, we'll be back on track next week. And I think that's all we have to say then. if you have nothing else to add, Leslie.
No, never.
All right. Pretty much never.
I would never.
You would never. There was a time when you did.
Yeah.
No longer.
No longer.
All right, then. On with the show. So when we left off, Erin Patterson had just returned to Leongatha Hospital. Dr. Webster and the police, who were very confused as to why she had left and come back in the first place, are holding Erin at the hospital. They are also desperately trying to check in on the state of Erin's 2 children, whom Erin claimed had eaten leftovers, if we all remember from last week, leftovers of what they assumed to be universally poisoned beef Wellington, right? Erin, however, is refusing to have the kids brought to the hospital, as she says the whole affair might just scare them and they're fine.
So strange.
Yeah, super strange.
Erin is just making all the wrong moves.
I mean, truly, every move is incorrect. Gail and Don Patterson are at Dandenong, that's how it's spelled, hospital, in critical conditions with confirmed death cap mushroom poisoning. Ian and Heather Wilkinson had just been transferred from Leongatha Hospital to Dandenong and Dandenong in some places. It's a really fun name. I'm sorry. One of them is right. They were there to also be treated for deadly death cap mushroom poisoning. Both hospitals are in conversation with one another, so everybody knows what's going on. And they're very aware of, like, all of the steps. So everybody knows everything. And then Dr. Webster's shift ends, which we were sad about, and he clocks out. I have to add that, like, he did get in trouble for talking to the press.
Oh, did he?
I didn't know that last week, but they didn't love that he did that. I guess the hospital thought it was like a HIPAA thing or something, that he like immediately placed judgment on a woman that came into the hospital. But I have to say, he was right. So
yeah, but well, yeah, I kind of thought that too, but I didn't know. I guess I didn't realize it was immediately.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know that there are articles out there talking about how he did get in trouble with like the health board in Australia for saying things like that. However, I can't stress enough that he didn't say anything inaccurate. It was all right. It just,
Yeah, it should have just been told to the officials.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm going to assume that all of you guys have looked at our photo suite at this point, and that you understand that Dr. Webster does indeed look like Mr. Incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. Anyway, the next part of the timeline unfolds over the course of several days, and many of the events overlap. So I'm going to be toggling back and forth a little bit. If you need to stop me and ask any clarifying questions, Leslie, on behalf of our listeners, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
I tend to sort them in order of event instead of like timeline, because it is kind of confusing. So anyway, we begin on July 31st. Erin is transferred from Leongatha Hospital to Monash Medical Center by ambulance. This is after Dr. Webster leaves. So we're going to take her somewhere where they can do all of the tests in-house.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense. She is ordered to have her children brought to Monash as well, where they will all undergo testing and be observed for 24 hours. I'm sure she was just pleased as punch about that.
Sure. Pleased as punch.
Great. When Erin arrives, she gets to the hospital, gets out of the ambulance, and there in the lobby is her ex-husband, Simon, and the 2 children. He is also not pleased as punch. I just imagine the daggers in this man's eyes, like, what the fuck is going on?
And I bet you she showed up just like, well, hello there, Simon.
Oh no, I'm sure she was like, I'm sick. Help me. That's what I think is happening. But I wager he was also beside himself at the thought of his children being in danger. Sure, yeah. And she didn't have that going on at all. She did try to garner sympathy with him, but he had none to give her. Remember when she was like, I'm sick, can you take me to the hospital too? And he was like, no, you can take yourself. That theme is continuing. Simon, it would seem at this point, is making all of the same connections Dr. Webster has made. So he's starting to look at her like, what the fuck did you do?
Right.
Back at Dandenong, Bing Bong Hospital. I have it typed like...
Sorry, Australia.
I know. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have it typed 2 different ways. I can look at it right now. We can all look at it together and see how hilariously Holly did this wrong. And it's really fun to say. I just... For some reason, my spell check picked up 2 different things. And I really, truly couldn't tell you why. But it's true. So...
Danang-da-dong.
Oh, man.
I know. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Danang.
It's Danendong or Den. Okay. I'm not doing any better. Let's see. I know, I'm trying to find it right now, and I'm sorry for the silence. I just don't know which one it... How's it spelled?
Danendong. Dandenong. Dandenong.
Dandenong.
Yeah.
Not any of the ways I said it originally. Good job. Oh, boy. So it's...
Dandenong.
Yeah. Dandenong.
Can you say it in an Australian accent? That might help.
No, I'm not very good at an Australian accent.
Sometimes that's how it works. You're like, oh, I have to say it that way.
I would need to hear like Bluey say it, and then I could imitate it. Anyway. So back at Dandenong Hospital, the four confirmed mushroom victims are rapidly declining. They are all in critical condition at this point, and one by one, it became evident that they would soon need assistance breathing as well as other kind of specialized treatment. And this means that they were firmly in phase 3 of death cap poisoning, which, as we discussed last week, would most likely mean they needed liver transplants.
Okay.
And not all hospitals are equipped for transplants. That's a pretty specialized thing to be able to do. And Dandenong Hospital could diagnose the problem. It had seen enough to know what it was, but they really couldn't treat it. That's as far as they could go. Transplants wouldn't be possible there, so arrangements were being made to have all of them transferred to a bigger university hospital with a much easier to pronounce name.
Okay. Hold on. I have the pronunciation.
Please tell me.
Here. Let's do this. Hold on. Oh, no, silence was off. We can do this. Okay.
Dandenong.
Dandenong.
Dandenong. Okay.
Dandenong.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'll try. If I have to say it again, I'll try and do it right.
Dandenong.
Dandenong.
That's fun.
All variations are fun. They're not all right, but they're all fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
moving on.
At this point, the police are aware of the situation, but it was still classified as an accidental poisoning, so it's not really their business.
Mm-hmm.
The mushroom investigation was therefore passed on to the Monash Health Department at that time. Erin and the children passed the night at Monash Medical. They were all in good health in that 24 hours and did not test positive for any of the mushroom toxin. Though, as I said in the last episode, the toxin metabolizes very quickly and symptoms come on very slowly. So it's hard to get a positive test at all. Erin did have elevated potassium levels, which could be an indicator of kidney failure and therefore death cap poisoning, but she had no other symptoms. And elevated potassium can also be a side effect of several medications, including an over-the-counter potassium supplement, which you can get just about anywhere.
Okay.
Just noted. That's all. Thankfully, the kids, though, were just fine. They had no indicators of anything, and they all passed the night without being in the bathroom constantly or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Erin could have licked a mushroom in solidarity or something.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I have to.
Right.
It's hard to say. But the doctor at Monash did ask Erin, okay, where did you get these mushrooms? Because that's what everybody wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
She said this time an Asian grocery store and Woolworths.
Oh.
Well, that's new, right?
Sure.
The doctor reports all of this to the health department. And then the health department says, we're going to need to speak directly to Erin.
Right.
Of course. Because the different stories don't go unnoticed.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always mean you're lying. Sometimes it's an indicator of truth. We don't always remember everything all at once.
But
however,
they clearly need to get a straight story.
Yeah, this is a little bit different than that too. It's not just I put on my blue shoes instead of my red ones. Mm-hmm. This is a pretty big hole in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On August 1st, that's the day after, Dawn, Gail, Ian, and Heather are transferred to the Austin Hospital in Melbourne. Austin is a little bit easier. The Austin Hospital is big. It's big. And it's a teaching hospital. It's also home to the area's Poison Information Center.
Mm-hmm.
Useful. The Austin Hospital has an extensive and well-equipped ICU and transplant unit where they do a bunch of liver transplants. That's where you want to be. They are equipped to deal with mushroom poisoning, and they have dealt with it before. So anybody else that has been poisoned in that area by a death cap, that's where they went.
Okay.
So we got the best in the business for that. As soon as our Core 4 arrived, the doctors at the Austin hospital recognized that they have to act fast. They're like, this is bad. We're in bad position right now. All 4 of them were in multiple organ failure and were immediately placed on dialysis and complex infusions. And even with these interventions, as predicted, they all rather quickly slipped into comas.
That's so awful.
It's really awful. Quote, once the liver fails, it drags the rest of the body down with it, remarked one of their doctors in an interview with the Australian press. And drag them all down, it did. They were all put on ventilators to help them breathe, and they're totally unconscious at this point. Gail, Heather, and Ian were far too sick to survive a liver transplant at that time, but Don looked like he could be a candidate, and so the order was put in. So back at the health department, Erin is brought in for an interview. Once again, they ask, where did you buy the mushrooms? Right? She repeats the second version of the story. She said she had gotten fresh white button mushrooms from Woolies and mixed them with a bag of dehydrated wild mushroom mix that she had purchased from an Asian grocery store in southeast Melbourne.
Okay.
Now, traditionally, the duck cells in a beef Wellington are made with white button mushrooms alone. That's all you want.
Mm-hmm.
They are pretty specific texture for mushrooms, and you don't want anything to be texturally challenging when you're trying to make a uniform spread.
Okay.
And I know I don't use a lot of dehydrated mushrooms in cooking, but if you have, you know when you rehydrate them, the texture is like a little bit different than like a white button mushroom would be that you got fresh.
Yeah, I guess it just depends if you're like chopping them too,
Yeah, you are. I just think that it's supposed to be kind of very uniform because it's a spread. So I think it would be a little bit weird to have like wild mushrooms. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It could like add some texture, some flavor, something interesting.
That's what she said. But if you're a beef Wellington purist, that would make you go, why would you do that?
Because why not, Holly?
I mean, there are a lot of reasons why not in this case. But they do ask, the health officials do ask her about that. They're like, why'd you use all those different mushrooms? Like, that's not what people usually do. And she said, well, actually, just like you did, they're much more flavorful. And I improved upon the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would agree.
Then you would also be suspicious.
Okay.
When asked which Asian grocery store she went to, so like, which exact one did you go to? Erin said she couldn't possibly remember. And she didn't have a receipt because she paid in cash.
Sure.
Which furthers my suspicion that she had read about the previous death cap at Woolworth's accusation case. Because it's the exact same story.
Sure.
It's just too similar.
Yeah, this is so, like right away I'd be like, bitch, listen. Like, we're getting in a car and you're driving me to wherever you went. Like, is that not what you want to do? You're like, family is dying.
I mean, yes, exactly right.
This is urgent.
You can't be casual about this. Why are you like, it could be anywhere.
No, this is so wild. I just made beef Wellington.
And how many specialized Asian grocery stores are in southeast Melbourne?
I don't know.
I've never been either. And Australia is big. And even if this was a huge city, this is a very specific part of the city.
Sure.
Could there be more than, I'm going to go have a really wide speculation, like 20?
Right.
If there were 20, they could easily go to all of them and ask them, right?
Yeah.
She's like, that couldn't possibly.
Like, do you remember this crazed woman coming in for
they do that in a second. But
okay.
You could, this is in the age of the internet. They could pull up and be like, was it this one? Was it this one? You could see pictures of storefronts. She just could not possibly place it. Nevertheless, though, the health department persisted and they said they really needed to know where those mushrooms came from. But Erin also insisted she didn't remember. And she couldn't describe the kind of packaging they came in either. Because they were like, well, what did the bag look like? Maybe we can source the products and where they sold it. She said, I don't know. They're just mushrooms. Curiouser and the curiouser.
Yeah. I wonder Simon left.
Man, seriously. On August 2nd, the Monash Health Council began visiting all of the Asian-style grocery stores in Melbourne's southeast end to try and find any products that could possibly match what Erin said she might have bought. And to no one's surprise, they were unsuccessful. Nothing seemed to line up, and nobody recognized her. So they did say, have you seen this lady? Did she buy mushrooms? They're like, well, I don't know who that is. After failing to turn up anything, the Monash Health Department began to suspect that this case was maybe a little above their pay grade. They're like, I don't know if the problem is the store.
Right.
So on August 3rd, they got in touch with the police, who decide to launch their own investigation into the poisonings and Erin. Call the damn cops, well done. Back at the hospital, Dawn Patterson receives a liver transplant, and it did not go as well as they had hoped.
Oh.
I know. At that point, the prognosis for all 4 of the suspected victims is pretty grim. Doesn't look good for anybody. On August 4th, at approximately 2:50 a.m., Heather Wilkinson was the first of them to pass away. 15 hours later, at 5:55 p.m., Gail Patterson passed away as well. Now the police had a double murder investigation on their hands. The first thing they did was formally question the health department officials. Police asked how they thought Erin would have acquired these deadly mushrooms. They're like, okay, she had them, obviously. How, in your opinion, would she have gotten them? What is possible and what is not, right? The health department said that death caps have never been mistakenly sold in any kind of market anywhere in Australia. All commercial markets have supply chains that are rigorously monitored. They checked everything. There was no evidence that any of the area Asian markets had sold anything at all to Erin, let alone mushrooms, not even something else. They had never waited on her at all. And in a final blow to Erin's story, if she was trying to say that the mushrooms were imported from China, and that was how they got into the store unmonitored somehow, well, that would mean that they came from the one place where death cap mushrooms do not grow. Which she definitely didn't think of.
Right.
So anyway, they concluded with certainty that the only way Erin Patterson could have gotten her hands on death cap mushrooms would have been to forage for them herself or to accidentally pick them while foraging for something else. But she had to have picked them herself. The health department then added that the only way these mushrooms would have remained unspoiled for more than a couple days would be to dehydrate them. Mushrooms don't have a terribly long shelf life when they're fresh, so frequently foragers will dry their own mushroom hauls in a home dehydrator. So the health department suggested that perhaps the police should look for one of those at Erin's house. Maybe she has a dehydrator and you could ask her about it.
Yeah.
Interesting again. So what they're hinting around is that they do believe that lunch was planned in advance. They're like, this is not like a super easy thing to do by accident.
Right.
But we're just the health department. We can't accuse her of anything.
Who are we
exactly.
to accuse?
We're just saying, to us, it looks like she would have needed to plan it out pretty well. Now, you and I both know that you can get just about anything on the dark web. If you want deadly mushrooms, I'm sure you could find them there. But hold your objections. We told you last week that these deadly little funguses tend to grow all over Australia. You just have to know where to pick them. And they do have a very specific relationship to very specific trees. No dark web or even a single dollar would be necessary for a person who was motivated enough to find them. You could just go get some.
Sure.
But since they couldn't find the source of the mushrooms just yet, police began doing their due diligence elsewhere. That is hard to say.
Due diligence.
Doing their due diligence elsewhere.
Oh, I like it.
There you go. Now, when a case looks like it could be intentional poisoning, investigators routinely check for a few things. The first being local CCTV footage, which is security cameras. They also look for transfer station logs. That's like the dump, trash pickup, and drop-off. They look for landfill drop-off footage, recycling center footage, possible hardware store receipts, and supermarket CCTV. This helps them see whether any cooking or chemical-related items are dumped, any suspicious disposal occurred shortly after the accident, or if any household appliances were discarded suddenly, because poisoning is often followed by attempts to destroy the evidence, and that is the evidence you would have. You see where I'm going here?
Yeah.
Okay. On August 4th, Donald Patterson also passes away at 11:30 a.m. Yeah. Now, Australian PD technically have a serial killer on their hands. That's a triple homicide. Maybe quadruple, we don't know. Pastor Ian Wilkinson, the only surviving victim at that point, remained in a coma. So it's not like they can ask him any questions either. So back on August 4th, after combing through a lot of security camera footage, police come across a remarkable piece of footage at the Coonawarra transfer station. It was from August 2nd at 11:29 a.m. You can very clearly see, now the transfer station is like where they take trash, basically.
Right.
You can very clearly see Erin's car pulling up to the transfer station. Erin's in it. It's Erin's car with Erin's license plate. She gets out of the car holding a large appliance in her hands, dumps it into the dumpster, sometimes called a skip or a tip in Australia. We call it a dumpster. And then she gets back into her car and drives away. Pretty damning evidence. Forensic analysis of that video identifies the appliance as a food dehydrator.
Okay.
Thank you, Health Department. The police head straight to the transfer station, I guess, which is just like a middle step. Like you get trash goes in dumpsters, then the dumpsters get taken to the landfill and dumped. So this is where the dumpsters are. So the police go to the dumpster graveyard or whatever it is, and they pull the dehydrator right out. It's still in there. They're like, there it is. Boop. It doesn't really take much digging either. It's right there. And sure enough, it did test positive for death cap mushroom residue.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, rookie mistake. I've definitely said that enough confidence will enable people to do just about anything, but I never said they do it well.
Now, is that something that you could clean? Because, I mean, dehydrators aren't...
You absolutely could clean it, yes.
Like,
she just didn't.
Not cheap.
No. You could absolutely clean it. And if she had used any kind of like serious utility grade cleaner or bleach or anything, it probably would have taken it all out. It's a toxin. To my knowledge, it's not like a very like viscous, oily toxin that's hard to get off of things. But she just didn't.
And normally it's like stainless steel in there. They can just like...
Yeah, or like a Teflon situation or porcelain. It's something that is cleanable because it's going to be stuck to it. You don't want it to like stick and not be able to get it off. So yeah, it's definitely
like if
cleanable.
Anything, like throw away the trays or something. But she also could have had like disposable...
Or Brillo
paper.
it and then just destroy all of it. Like you know what I mean?
She could have
put parchment down or something.
Parchment down to dry them.
Maybe. I mean, there are a lot of things she could have done, but absolutely didn't do.
Okay.
I just think,
I guess for the best, but still.
But like I said, like if you have big enough confidence, you will just do stuff.
Yeah.
Great. Now, mind you, at this point, Erin does not know the police have done any of this. She doesn't know they found the dehydrator. She doesn't know there's footage of her. She knows nothing. The police do, however, at this point have more than adequate reasons to obtain a search warrant for Erin's house and enough to bring her in for formal questioning. Great. They do that. I believe they question her. It looks like they're at her house first. Okay. And then she leaves and they do a search or something. It's hard to tell in the videos, but it does look like they speak to her at her house first. In this interview, she claims to have been nothing but compliant with the hospital and the health department. She's like, I did absolutely everything they asked me the second they asked me to do it. Bullshit. We know for a fact from the hospital, from numerous doctors, that you absolutely would not bring those kids in. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Erin recounts the whole Woolworths and Asian grocery store version of the story to the police. She claims that this must have been a truly horrible accident and that she's eager to help them in this investigation in any way possible.
Thank you.
Lies. The police ask all the hard questions, too. They say, do you, by any chance, own a food dehydrator? To which she says, no.
Well, she doesn't now.
That's true. That's true. But they know she did.
Yeah.
Detectives ask for her cell phone. She gives them a cell phone. They then proceed with the search of her home and digital forensic investigation. And this is all a doozy. So here is what they turned up.
Wait, when you say she gave them a cell phone, is it not?
Oh, you'll see. Okay. Is it the one they could have gotten more information out of? No. Let's talk about the house first, though.
Okay.
They take in multiple kitchen items like cooking scales, knives, pans, and cutting boards, as well as cookbooks with recipes for beef Wellington. It's like she had like how to poison your relatives.
That would be really funny.
But the other thing they find is the manual for the food dehydrator.
Okay.
You know, you have that drawer in your kitchen with all the manuals in it. Yeah. Well, she did too, and she left the food dehydrator manual.
Good for her for having that still.
No, not good for her. She did
like the one time you told didn't the police, lose it.
Exactly. all my manuals are in that drawer in my kitchen. I can tell you exactly where they are.
That's great. Mine are not.
Probably for the best. You can find everything online now. But she didn't do that. She kept it and it was right like on top of the
I wonder if she had just bought it.
I can tell you it is relatively new. Yes. Okay. We'll get back to it. But yeah, she didn't have
that's an expense too, unless it was a cheap one.
No, it was a good one. It looked like a good one at least. You can't fuck around when you're drying out your poison.
I guess not. Just makes me mad. We just bought one, so I'm like very
Oh, okay. So you know what it is to dehydrate some things.
Yeah.
So that's what they find. So they have her like dead to rights for at least lying about one specific thing.
Yeah.
They know she lied about that, but don't worry, she lies about so much more. The police also find the rest of the leftover beef Wellington still in the kitchen trash.
Okay.
Gross.
Yeah, because I think I added a picture of this in the photo suite this week. Yeah.
It's in the garbage. And also, like, come on, man. You took your food dehydrator to the dump.
Yeah.
You went to put it in a dumpster. Why wouldn't you bag those remains and get rid of them?
I guess we'll find out because I don't think there was anything wrong with those ones. Right?
Bingo. Bingo. Because it is the most incriminating evidence ever. But she's careless, but not that careless, because as Leslie remembered, her guests cleaned their plates.
Mm-hmm.
The leftovers were hers and any extra she may have made for the kids.
Right.
Of course, they didn't have death caps in them. Despite what you may have read or found online, those scraps were tested and they came up clean. There are a lot of articles that say they had death cap mushrooms in them. They didn't. You can find the evidence photos and the police reports. They did not test positive for death cap toxin, which says a whole lot of nothing to me anyway, because she made individuals and they ate all of theirs.
Right.
Okay, yeah, you weren't going to find it, but it is in the dehydrator.
Yep.
So police also recovered a laptop. In some places, it's called a PC. That's just a personal computer. It doesn't really matter if it was a tower or a book, whatever. They also take her tablet and her kids' tablets. And if those things don't feel incriminating enough to form a full story for you, don't worry. The digital forensics are about to fill in way more gaps than we even knew existed. Now, at this point, let's think about cell phones, okay? We all know that the police can get access to all of your data without ever physically touching your phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can. They absolutely can. They can get all your locations. They can find your texts. The company has them. They live in the air now. They're not just on they're not earthbound to a device. You can get them from anywhere else. And they can still recover that information if the device has been factory reset multiple times by the owner. And they can see those reset attempts too. We know that, don't we? Yeah, but Erin didn't, because she sure did do some stupid shit. But let's go to the computers first, because we need a little bit of that before we go into the phones. First, we'll take a look at Erin's social media. Turns out Erin was very active on the old Facebook, because of course she was. She really seems like the kind of person that would be. She belonged to several true crime groups where she was known as a pretty keen internet sleuth.
Ooh, okay.
According to the BBC, quote, Patterson had been an active member in a Facebook group focused on the true crimes of Kelly Lane, a woman who was found guilty of killing her 2-day-old daughter in one of Australia's most notorious cases. Okay, well, we're all guilty of doing that kind of stuff too. Whatever. We like a little web sleuths here and there. We look up stuff online. You guys wouldn't be listening to us if you didn't. But what else did they find? It turns out Erin liked mushrooms a lot. Like a lot. Like too much, one might say. In posts, comments, and direct messages, she talked to her friends online about how much she just loved mushrooms and how they tasted. She loved the flavor. She loved to see them, and she thought they had so many health benefits. Mm-hmm. She bragged also about hiding mushroom powder in nearly everything she cooked for her kids. She's like, I just sneak mushrooms into every single dish I make.
I love them.
They don't even notice it. In fact, I even snuck mushroom powder into brownies I made for my kids. Looks good. And then she talked about ways to cook mushrooms, experimenting with mushrooms, and she exchanged mushroom recipes. And yes, they included beef Wellington, of course. And she talked about, here's the kicker, the mushrooms she foraged for and dried herself. Activities she said she never engaged in. Oh, boy. And there were photos. Oh, there were photos. She shared photos of foraged mushrooms. She store-bought mushrooms, the mushroom dishes she made, and her dehydrator, and then mushrooms she had dried in that dehydrator. It was like, here's my new dehydrator. Yeah. Here's these things I found.
Man,
great.
It's crazy just to forget all that, you know?
Uh-huh. You forgot every single one of that and that you ever owned that? Okay. Fine. She likes mushrooms and talked big game. So she foraged and dehydrated her own mushrooms. I don't, but some people do. That doesn't mean she's a murderer, does it?
It doesn't have to, but...
Exactly. I mean, maybe she really did forget a lot of stuff when talking to the police, and she just wanted to make a nice lunch to reconnect with her beloved family.
Yeah.
Except you'd have to have a beloved family for that to be true first.
Oh, Holly coming in hot.
Yeah, it turns out she didn't have the best things to say about Simon, her ex, or her former in-laws.
Okay.
She posted publicly about being angry with Simon often and being angry with his parents. She had even messaged friends that she did not enjoy spending time with her in-laws at all and felt like they were encroaching on the life that she had created with her children. They were just making themselves be too involved. And that she only spent time with them out of obligation to her children. Okay? Well, social media was pretty telling. What else? Aside from some recipe searches, there were a few other searches of interest. So this is on Google or something like that. First, remember the site I mentioned in part 1 called iNaturalist? I think I called it out by name. I may have just mentioned a site where scientists and amateur mushrooms enthusiasts post things, but it's called iNaturalists. They post about mushrooms, including death caps. They do talk about them, and they talk about them very legally. Usually when death caps are mentioned, a team of volunteers goes out to destroy them, or they are noted as like a mushroom in your area. So people who are looking up what they can forage in certain places are immediately warned, hey, these are poisonous. This is what they look like. Do not pick them. It's a noble pursuit. And there is actually a lot of discourse about whether that should be available information or not.
Oh.
And I think it should. I think because one person did the wrong thing with it doesn't mean that nobody can keep themselves safe.
Well, I think that's, yeah. I mean, there's just lots of things that's like that. But in the end, if somebody is trying to do something nefarious, like they'll figure it out.
They're gonna. Correct. Yeah. So anyway, in the spring of 2023, Erin had visited the site and specifically clicked on 2 posts several times. Both posts were about death cap sightings, and they included photos and geotags, which are, quote, very precise location pins. The first post was reportedly made in the town of Loch, Victoria, and was submitted on April 18th, 2023 by a random anonymous user. Not Erin, I assure you. And the user did not have any sinister motives, quite the opposite, in fact. To my knowledge, this user was not an expert. This first one, just an enthusiastic observer doing what they thought was right. The second post was made on May 21st, 2023. That post documented a death cap sighting in the town of Outrim, Victoria, and it was made by iNaturalist user Funky Tom, a.k.a. esteemed local mycologist Dr. Tom May. He is not anonymous. He's like an admin on this board. He's like a big deal. Dr. May is a mycologist at the National Herbarium of Victoria, which sounds like a building at Hogwarts, but is very real. There, Dr. May specializes in the taxonomy and ecology of Australian macrofungi, which is not micro. I guess it means bigger mushrooms. I don't know.
Yeah. Micro.
Micro would be little. Macro would be, I don't know. That's what he specializes in. He is most notable for the comprehensive bibliographical lists of all Australian fungi published thus far, as well as the originator of the fungi map, an Australia-wide fungal mapping scheme based on observations of nearly 100 easily identified macrofungi. So he knows his shit. Dr. May was awarded the 2014 Australian Natural History Medallion. In 2023, he was awarded the Nancy T. Burbridge Medal from the Australasian Systematic Botany Society. Dr. May has also, if this is not enough, appeared in several documentaries, including The Giants and Follow the Rain, and has published over 100 referred articles, as well as contributed extensively to non-referred publications. His name is everywhere in mushrooms.
Yeah.
Funky Tom's posts are certified true. Literally one cursory Google search will tell you that this guy is the real deal. He has a Wikipedia, for Christ's sake. One might argue that if you lived in Australia and were super into mushrooms, his name would not only be recognizable, but the gold standard in mushroom truth.
Right.
Seeing him post that, there's no question. It's guaranteed.
Right. So I just did a quick search for micro versus macro.
Oh, okay.
So micro refers to the small individual components, whereas macro is the bigger picture of everything.
So Funky Tom knows the bigger picture of everything. That's his specialty. Perfect. So basically, if he says there be death caps, there be death caps. Now, let's pause on the computer for a minute and jump over into the information recovered from Erin's phone, or should I say phones?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, because as you guessed, she definitely had more than one.
Okay.
The phone Erin voluntarily turned into the police was simply one handset of numerous numbers attached to Erin's one account. So here's the thing. Just because it's a different number and you pay the bill doesn't mean it's not attached to you. Come on, man.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, that's like me saying, like, my kids' phones aren't connected to me at all. They're just my kids. No, they are definitely connected to me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the main handset. We will call her main phone, phone A, and we will call the phone that she turned over to the police, which is a Samsung if you want to know, phone B.
Okay.
Phone B did not contain phone A's SIM card either. It had its own. But never fear, it had a colorful history nonetheless. While it didn't contain any meaningful data, phone B had been factory reset or completely wiped clean to the average observer right before the police arrived at Erin's house. Why would you factory reset the phone you gave the police when you know they were coming to collect such things? Why would you?
I don't know.
Why would you do that? That's weird. A second remote reset of this phone was also attempted while the phone was in police custody. They literally watched it happen.
Boy.
Here's a little preview into how confidently delusional this woman is. When asked what the post-surrendered phone wiping attempt was all about, they're like, why did you do that? Erin said she just wanted to see if the police were silly enough to leave the phone on.
Wow.
She wondered if they would even notice, those silly police officers. If I do this thing, will you see it? Silly. What? What a ridiculous thing to say. Why would you, even if that is a thing you did do, why would you do that?
Ugh.
Yeah, so just to recap so far, Erin Patterson has used the word silly and inside voice in her official testimony as a fully grown adult in reference to police detectives and a doctor. Great, good. Moving forward. The SIM card to phone A, as well as its primary handset, are never recovered. They never find that phone. Somehow she was able to get rid of that.
Wow. Okay. Go, Erin.
I don't know how she did it, because they found everything. Did she eat it? I don't really know.
Wow.
I know. But they never found although I guess it didn't matter too hard because the police could get all the data off it anyway. And that's what they did. First, the data shows that phone A's SIM card was removed right before the police got to her house yet again. So it was taken out of its main handset and plugged into like an old Nokia.
Okay.
Which they can tell remotely.
This is so wild.
Yeah. They can see the make and model of the phone that SIM card was put into.
This is just so much effort. Like, why?
So we're going to refer to the old Nokia if we need to as phone C. That phone was never recovered either.
Okay.
So I guess she swallowed two phones.
That or like they put some effort and then they were like, we can get everything anyway.
So they did get the data. Let's start with locations, though, on the SIM card of phone A. Turns out Erin absolutely did visit the locations documented in the death cap sites, both of them. You can see her travel from her house to the place cited on the iNaturalist website and go back home. So yeah, she absolutely went there. And in case you're doubting the conditions of these locations, both were visited and they were groves of oak trees, the ideal habitat for death crab, which I guess you would get in the end. As the ideal habitat for death caps. Data also confirms her trip to the dump with the food dehydrator. You can watch her go to the dump and back.
Sorry, this is so immature. Death crap and dump. Sorry. I couldn't handle it.
It's all good, man.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
It's all good. Her locational data also traces her trip to Woolworths several days before the fated lunch and the day before the lunch. But whatever did she buy?
What did she buy?
Well, there's no way of knowing since she doesn't have that receipt either, right? Is there?
Yes, there is.
Of course there is. Woolworths customer rewards account records, which they were only too happy to provide.
Wait.
She had to get those rewards, Leslie.
She put in her phone number. Erin.
Listen, if you're going to get rewards, you need to get them.
I mean, this was before Thanksgiving. Maybe the turkey points were piling on. I don't know. But it shows that Erin purchased packets of frozen puff pastry and phyllo,
And also a kilogram of chopped fresh mushrooms and shallot onions at the Leongatha Woolworths several days before the lunch. And as we recall, those Woolies mushrooms are secure.
Yeah. I mean, although I will say, like, they obviously know that she's making this. Like, that's not a mystery. So her going grocery shopping for this isn't.
No, but it's just like, well, we can track every single thing you did.
Right.
Then on the day before the meal, she goes back to pick up more pastry and the beef, along with more sliced mushrooms and gravy packets, and 1.5 kilograms of mashed potatoes and 350 grams of beans. She got mashed potatoes. She didn't even cook them.
I was just going to say.
You got a container of beans and a container of mashed potatoes.
Maybe they make really good mashed potatoes.
Maybe, still.
And at that point, you're just like, I have to make this beef Wellington. I have to dehydrate these death crabs. I have to.
Now I have the death crabs. All of it's terrible.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
I have to forage. But
I also imagine her taking those mashed potatoes off the stove, like,
yes, right.
I made these for you.
Like she added some salt, pepper.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
This is my recipe.
The rest of her purchases were tracked by her bank records. So they could say, like, we tracked everywhere you went and all of your purchases. You did not go to an Asian market. We know that.
We know this.
Yeah, we know this. You didn't withdraw cash to go to somewhere and pay in cash either. You paid by card everywhere and got your rewards points. Yeah. Okay? All right. And the day after the lunch, when she said she had such a terrible tummy ache and diarrhea, she purchased donuts for breakfast, some gum, a chicken wrap, and a ham and cheese and tomato toasted sandwich at a local shop for lunch, and a cup of gas station coffee at the stop she made with her son, where she said she had diarrhea and had to use the bathroom, but the camera proved she didn't use any bathroom. She just got herself some coffee. Which, as we all know, is great at preventing diarrhea.
Sure.
The first thing you want when you have diarrhea is gas station coffee.
Yeah. I mean, all of that would possibly send me to the hospital.
Yeah, I would have the death crabs.
Stomach. Yeah.
Oh, God. And by the way, let's remember she's wearing white pants.
Right.
Truly an audacious thing to do. Oh, God. And since she isn't a seagull, I'm going to go ahead and guess that meant she wasn't really living in fear of messing them up.
Sure.
But there can't be more, can there?
Of course there is, isn't there?
There can and there will be more. Since we already covered social media, let's take a look at photos.
Okay.
How about that? Great. Free advice. Don't take photos of the death caps you claim to have accidentally purchased mixed in with normal mushrooms laid out in the food dehydrator you claimed not to have owned on the phone you're hiding from the police. Because they will find out, and it does not end well. And by the way, that is exactly what Erin did.
All right.
There are photos of her kitchen scale, which they could then swab and find death cap residue on. The scale weighing the mushrooms, there were 14 of them to be precise. Then there are photos of those exact mushrooms laid out in the dehydrator that she claimed not to have. All these photos are both visually, obviously in her home, like it's her kitchen, and they are geotagged with her location for confirmation, just in case anybody wanted to be silly and claim they were done somewhere else. Fucking brilliant.
This is wild. Is it because she wanted to post this on the site?
No, because she never did. I don't know why she did it.
Oh, maybe the police caught on to her too fast.
Maybe they did. For the life of me,
this is strange.
It's very strange. Yeah. For the life of me, I can't tell what part of the plan honestly, having photos of those mushrooms was.
All of that would have led to, had she not thrown things away, like she
would have given credence to the story.
Yeah, she could have just been like,
"Oh yeah, I'm proud of it. I got these nice, delicious mushrooms, and I made beef Wellington out of them." And then they would have been like, "What a horrible mistake. We're so sorry, ma'am."
Right.
That's not what she did at all.
Right.
She just did it dumb.
She even could have said something like I had, like, for her and the kids not to have gotten sick with like their batch. She could have said like, well, I ran out of like the wild mushroom ones that I did.
And I wanted to give that to my guests because they were the most
this was
delicious.
Like the fancy ones. So I just I made an extra batch for for us.
There are a million things she could have said. I'm sensitive to wild mushrooms, but I know they taste good, so I gave them to them and I only used the buttons in mine. There's so many things, but she didn't. She didn't say any of those. Her search history also included not only the iNaturalist's posts, but also fun key phrases about mushroom poisoning, like how many death caps would it take to kill a human adult? And yeah, I have Googled that too, and so have you, Leslie. But we didn't do any of that other stuff.
We didn't.
So
we didn't.
There you go. Mind you, all of this reconnaissance does take time. We're talking approximately 3.5 months. I mean, they have to read every DM, every text message, every post. There's a team of people combing through everything. During this time, Erin is also blubbering all over the town to every press outlet that will find her about how sad she is and how insane it would be to think that she would have done anything to her beloved family, who are the best thing that ever happened to her. And the interviews are wild. And she's not just talking to her neighbors, mind you. This is the local press because they are all over the story. And if you should wish to see Erin do said blubbering, there are dozens of clips of her talking to reporters, or rather sobbing at reporters. I should warn you though, oh man, I have never seen so many spit strings in my life.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
I
can't. I cannot talk about this.
Tough.
This is disgusting.
It's really gross. If you don't like when someone's mouth is too dry,
Holly.
I know. I can't watch it personally, but if you guys want to, go on ahead. You'd think she'd start carrying a water bottle, but no, she never did. So it became pretty clear to the police that Erin wasn't too keen on telling the truth, as she had lied about, I don't know, everything so far. So they knew they'd have to form an airtight case against her before her arrest, because a confession is just not in character for her, obviously. So while all this carrying on is happening, just as spring is about to arrive in Leongatha, and it's September, so it would be autumn for those of us in the United States, Pastor Ian Wilkerson woke up from his coma.
Oh, boy.
His recovery process is slow, painful, and not without hurdles. He underwent bowel reconstruction surgery among numerous other treatments, but eventually Pastor Ian made a full recovery without the aid of a liver transplant, which is quite literally a miracle. It is almost unheard of to not need a liver transplant after what he went through, but somehow he didn't. Doctors were stunned. Ian's beloved community attributes his against all odds survival to God. And I'm not a religious woman, but I kind of have to agree. Something not of this world had to have been protecting this guy, because by all accounts, he shouldn't have survived. And before we move on, let's think about what this had to be like for Ian. When he lost consciousness, his wife, her sister, and her sister's husband were all with him and being worked on next to him. He had been given charcoal to make him have them pump his stomach and absorb any toxins. He was in a lot of pain, and then he just doesn't remember anything after that, just blackness. When he wakes up in a different place, a shadow of his former self with tubes coming out of everywhere and a constellation of new scars scattered across his body, he finds out that 2 months have passed since he last closed his eyes. Now that's enough of a shock.
Yeah, for sure.
He then asked doctors, well, how is my wife doing? Eager to see her. Obviously, that's the first thing you're going to say. And they have to tell him that not only has she died 2 months ago and has already been buried.
Yeah.
He asked about Gail and Dawn. Same. They also died months ago and have also been buried. Not only was he not around for that, he missed funerals. He missed all of it.
Yeah.
At that point, I have to imagine you would just be in the twilight zone. If I were him, I would have just been like, well, anything is possible now. You could tell me anything and I won't be shocked. I'm not sure how I would have reconciled what happened, but Ian, a man of strong and unshakable faith, just knew that his life had been spared for a reason. And good for him, man. When Ian finally leaves the hospital, he is able to talk to the police. And while he doesn't remember much after the lunch, like I said, when they get sick, it's just kind of a roller coaster from there on out. He does remember what happened during it. He tells the police that he and his wife and Gail and Dawn thought it was a little strange, actually, that Erin had invited them over for this big lunch, as none of them were very close at that point. Ian and Heather barely spoke to her at all. They were acquaintances at best. And it was odd that Simon wasn't there. You know, the ex that is the link to all of this. But they knew that things were tense with him, which is the first time the police hear that. Hear someone say, yeah, but their relationship wasn't the best. They're like, okay. Ian said that they all arrived that afternoon. As we recounted in the previous episode, they saw her house. They said it was very nice. And if you looked at our photo suite, it's a big house.
Right, yeah.
Then they sat down to eat. He said the beef Wellington was served on individual plates and that Erin specifically did not want any help in the kitchen. They all were like, let me help you. Let me carry stuff out. And she was like, no. She was very insistent that nobody help her in the kitchen. Not curious at all. He said they were all served on great plates, but Erin ate off an orange one. He said they ate and had a pleasant time. And then Erin told them why they were all there. She said she had ovarian cancer and would need help figuring out how to tell her children. She knew she would be needing support in the months ahead as well. This was the first the police had heard of any kind of cancer, though.
That's right.
Because why would she tell them that? She wouldn't. Erin didn't say a thing about it. She just said she wanted to reconnect. And obviously she's not undergoing treatments. They're not watching her have to be in the hospital. Then Ian told the police they advised her to be honest, prayed for her well-being and the well-being of her family, and then everyone went home. The next morning, they all started to get sick, and the rest was history. Most of that lined up with the story the police had been given from the hospitals. Remember, they had taken reports upon everyone's arrival. But back to that cancer part, right? The cops knew at this point that Erin was not a reliable narrator and that she was actively trying to destroy any evidence against her. So they bypassed asking her directly and checked her health records right away, which I guess in a murder case like this is accessible. I don't know what HIPAA laws are like in Australia, what you can or cannot get. But they were able to obtain her health records, and she didn't have any cancer. They asked her doctors directly. No cancer. No records of her seeing any oncologists in the country at all. If she didn't have cancer, why would she say that? Well, it was all part of the setup. There's one more digital channel we haven't talked about yet, and that is text messages. And that's where it all starts to come together. Despite her best efforts to delete them, Erin's texts go way back, and reading them all of them took time and resources. As I said, you have to comb through every single one looking for evidence. This is a large task, but it does pay off. However, after just the first cursory scan of Erin's text messages, it did become clear to the police that her family dynamic was not what it seemed to be. Police decided that while all the information was recovered, so during this time, that they would talk to her family and try to get ahead on it, right? So they bring in Erin's kids and Simon for questioning. And they paint a very different picture of Erin and Simon's marriage and divorce than she did.
Okay.
According to Simon, their relationship was punctuated by multiple separations and reconciliations over the years, including a first separation soon after their first child's birth. There were temporary reunions and another move back to Victoria in around 2013, but they eventually separated for good in 2015. Post-separation, they did maintain a basic functional alignment, co-parenting, and they did occasionally go on joint family outings, and they had social ties, including keeping a relationship with Simon's parents. But Erin didn't seem to think this separation would last forever. Like the other ones, she thought eventually this would just be over and they would get back together. But that's not exactly what Simon thought that time.
Okay.
Yeah. For a while, this co-parenting situation worked out just fine. But Simon, unlike Erin, did want to move on with his life. So in 2022, he filed his tax return with his status listed as single.
Huh.
Erin did not like this. That triggered a shift in how child support/governmental benefits would apply. So originally, I guess they just didn't report any of their separations and just went on to co-pay for everything and just operated like, I don't know. But then once he separated himself in a legal way, the courts saw that and they said, okay, well, we have to determine his child support payments. He has to pay child support to their primary.
Right.
And they determined that his child support payment would be very low.
Oh.
And that he would not have to pay for their school or anything else. Because remember, Erin inherited a shit ton of money. She has a lot.
Oh, that's right.
He has the job, but all of that money and all of the property and shit is in her name.
Yeah.
But she still didn't like that.
Okay.
Erin was actually furious Now, nobody wants to live in a situation where they don't get appropriate child support. I get that. I do not advocate for that. But Erin could pay for anything those kids needed. She wasn't in a bad situation. She didn't really need Simon's money. But having the government dictate things must have hit some kind of nerve for her. Because while she wasn't broke, she also didn't really want to be divorced.
Right.
After that, Erin and Simon's relationship became strained and tense. The kids, they noticed this too. So it's getting bad if the kids are like, it was not good. They argued a lot. She was always talking shit about him at home and stuff. It was not great. There was growing resentment from Erin, not just towards Simon either, but towards his parents and his siblings as well. Text and group chat exchanges between Erin and Simon's parents had become aggressive. But despite all the rapidly dissolving relationships, there were still ties, including shared ownership of some property, and past generosity from Erin towards Simon's siblings. Remember, when she inherited all that money, she loaned the siblings money to buy houses.
That's right.
Erin was so generous with her money, and now the whole family was giving her next to nothing. She didn't even get a formal invitation to Gail's 70th birthday lunch.
Oh, no.
Here's a text exchange about that situation, by the way. Simon texts, "Hey, are you coming to Mom's birthday lunch tomorrow?" Erin replied, "Seems my invite tomorrow is a bit of an afterthought. I might pass. Thanks." Then, in the same exchange, she later said, "What I reckon is everybody forgot to invite me, actually. I feel very, very hurt about that." And then, after going to this event with her kids anyway, so she still went, she messaged Simon, "I'm sorry for shouting at you this afternoon. I was feeling very hurt. I'd like to not do that again." So she wasn't invited by the family, but Simon eventually did acquiesce and extended invitation. And then she made a scene. It seems that she made a scene at the party.
Okay.
And remember, this is an ex situation. By a lot of years, she's Simon's ex-wife. These people are under no obligation to invite her to their interfamilial parties.
Yeah.
Yet Simon still does it. And even so, this is the final straw for Erin. She just couldn't possibly deal with anymore. Now, one might argue that murdering everyone is not the best way to react to feeling snubbed. But how do we react? I mean, it certainly is a difficult situation to navigate, especially when you're completely irrational.
Yeah.
And very overconfident.
Sure, yeah.
Leslie, were there better ways Erin might have reacted to her hurt feelings here? How could she have coped?
Well, Holly, there are actually several books and sources that address social exclusion etiquette.
Oh, go on.
Yes, okay. Well, she could have picked up a copy of Emily's Post Etiquette from 1922. There was an updated edition.
Old-timey, but all right.
Sure. There was an updated edition in 2017 to 2022. Yeah. So, pretty current.
Emily Post, tell us what to do.
Yeah. So Emily Post's Foundational Etiquette Manual covers nearly every aspect of social life: invitations, hosting, declining, forgiveness, and maintaining dignity. The relevance to exclusion would be so while there isn't necessarily a section titled "What to Do When You're Not Invited,"
and this is Emily Post was the Bible of manners.
Yes, she stresses unshakable composure in the face of social disappointment. She emphasizes that one must never demand explanations, one must not show resentment, and one should behave as though the matter were of no consequence.
So, don't make a scene at the party and then yell later, too. Okay, that's not good. Got it.
Yes. So this is the classic old school framework for managing snubs with grace.
Okay.
Now, if she didn't feel like picking up one of Post's books, she could have also gotten Miss Manners' Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior. This one was published in 1982. And revised editions through 2011. The author for this one was Judith Martin, known as Miss Manners.
I love that that's her nickname. Can you call me Miss Manners? Okay.
So this book is a witty encyclopedic, Q&A style etiquette guide for modern social dilemmas. And so for this particular situation, she directly addresses questions from readers who were not invited to weddings, excluded from family holidays.
Okay, yeah.
Left off guest lists, or accidentally, and that's in quotations, omitted from group plans. And her consistent instruction is, one is never obligated to take offense, and demanding an explanation only assures you will never receive another invitation.
Now, I'm going to say Erin did not read Miss Manners. No.
And she is most explicit. She is the most explicit etiquette author about how to behave when you've been snubbed. Then there's another book, a more current book, The Modern Etiquette Made Easy. This is from 2020.
Oh, I didn't know that was still a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
This one is by Micah Mayer.
Okay.
It's a contemporary etiquette guide combining British and American social rules with an emphasis on confidence, boundaries, and professionalism.
Got it.
And for this specific...
She's so good at all of those things.
All those things. So for this specific situation, she covers social intelligence, including how to respond gracefully when not included, how to express hurt feelings without accusation, how to maintain relationships after awkward social moments, and how to avoid retaliatory or passive-aggressive behaviors. And her focus is modern emotional etiquette, so it's useful for psychologically driven cases like Erin's resentment.
Okay. Yeah. So a little more current than like, just hold it all in forever and then explode.
Yes, right.
Okay.
She also could have gotten
oh my God,
Minding Miss Manners in an Era of Fake Etiquette. This one's from 2019.
Okay.
This one also, so this is another book by Miss Manners, but she also writes this with Nicholas Ivor Martin, which I wonder if that's her husband, because it's also a Martin. Oh,
or son.
And Jacobina Martin?
Ooh.
Jacobina? I don't know. Anyway. Yes. So it's a collection of Miss Manners columns addressing 21st century awkwardness, social media, ghosting, hurt feelings, and boundary setting.
I kind of want that book.
I know. She includes a number of letters from people upset about being left out of dinner parties, holiday events, and work gatherings. And her position is do not fish for invitations, do not shame the host, do not issue public complaints or social media lamentations, and preserve dignity by acting as though one has an abundance of engagements elsewhere. That was my favorite. Like all of this is my favorite because it's like, how many people do we know post?
Oh my God, yes.
About, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we're always just like, oh my God, why did they bring this to social media? Every time, yeah.
And I love that through the ages, the response does not change. It's always like, you can't point it out. They don't have to invite you.
They don't have to. And I feel like we talk about this mostly on like a wedding, I don't know one person who has thrown a wedding and has not had one person come up to them and either be like, why isn't this person invited? Why? Like, oh, I guess I wasn't invited to their wedding, or like, like something. Yeah. Like the invitation list is so hard.
It's really hard.
Okay, anyway. Then there's several more. All of them are about the same. Let me see if there's...
Nobody said, hey, you should probably be real mad and make a scene and passive aggressively say, I guess they forgot mine.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. This one, okay. I'll just do the last one. So Dr. Judith Sills, she has a book called What to Do When You're Left Out. This was so this one was actually a modern online etiquette and psychology commentary. And so it's an advice article exploring the emotional consequences of social exclusion and practical ways to cope without damaging relationships. And she says, like, she talks a lot about like how to interpret the exclusion without catastrophe, how to respond with emotional maturity, how not to say when you feel slighted. Again, like just don't talk about it. You have to snub yourself.
Yeah, you got to eat it when that happens. Yeah. You can't talk about it.
How to maintain dignity without pretending you don't care, while not an etiquette in traditional sense. Her guidance aligns strongly with like modern etiquette principles, self-control, kindness, boundaries, non-retaliation.
Don't make a scene.
Yes, exactly. So, in essence, Holly.
Yeah.
Thus, when snubbed, one must simply remain composed, remain gracious, and above all, remain out of the kitchen.
Yeah. That's sage advice, Leslie.
Yes, okay.
Maybe stay away from Funky Tom's mushroom posts.
Yes.
And just take a nice warm bath.
Yeah.
That would definitely help. But Erin didn't do any of that.
No.
She didn't look for any of those helpful assets. No. Instead, plot twist, after trying and failing to kill Simon 3 times, I know, she decided that it wasn't enough to punish him alone and planned her ill-fated lunch.
Oh my God. I'm so thankful he didn't die. Like,
Me too.
I just keep thinking about these children.
Mm-hmm. According to Simon, between 2021 and 2022, he had fallen seriously ill at least 3 times after eating meals prepared by Erin, including penne bolognese, pasta, chicken curry, and a vegetable wrap. Stop eating at her house.
Well, no reason he didn't come to the luncheon.
I know. He's like, I'm done. I'm not coming.
No, thank you.
On one of those occasions, Simon was hospitalized and underwent life-saving surgery, a bowel resection just like Ian.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's rough. And that means he had to have a piece of his intestines removed, basically.
Yes.
The police and Simon were thinking maybe his big tummy aches were not exactly a coincidence or an accident.
Yeah.
Simon even accused Erin flat out via text of poisoning his family. He was like, hey, where's that dehydrator of yours? What did you put in it? He said those specific words. And she was just like, you're very silly, you crazy man. I would never do anything.
Wow.
Okay, but he still knew that you did that stuff and that you had a dehydrator, and he knew. There were also texts from Erin to Gail, wherein she talked about the possibility of her having ovarian cancer, only to Gail. She said she had gone in for scans and a biopsy. She had not. That never happened. But why lie? It's like a big, weird lie. Almost there. I think it's about time for the police to bring Erin in, don't you?
Yes.
Let's arrest her.
Jesus.
I know. It's been months. What if she's just out there crying to cameras? Okay, great. On November 2nd, 2023, Erin was finally arrested. Originally, the police charged her with 3 counts of homicide and 4 counts of attempted homicide. Because remember, Simon.
Yeah.
But Simon's...
Honestly, 5 counts.
Seriously. But Simon's near-deadly dinner ended up not counting. Despite hospitalizations and severe symptoms, none of Simon's illnesses were conclusively proven to be brought on by any kind of poison.
Okay.
There were no toxology or chemical analyses showing the poison was ingested. But again, we know that may not have happened because the onset is delayed and it clears from your system quickly. Also, if he was just like, I'm sick, I don't know how much extensive testing they would have done.
Right.
But so they didn't really have concrete proof. But those other ones, this is pretty damning. Still, her defense had to try, right?
Why?
In court? I don't know.
I mean, I guess
because they're being paid.
That's true.
I'm not going to go through her whole trial, though, because it was very...
Holly hates doing that.
I really do. And it also lasted for like years. This went on for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, because that was 2023.
Mm-hmm. And she just was sentenced like a few months ago. This is long. And a complete and total media circus. Like, it was bonkers. I will list the podcast that posted every single day what happened in court day by day. There is over 100 some odd episodes.
Wow.
Yes. So if you want to know everything that was said in court, you can. You can also get transcripts of it. It's long, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. So I will give you a more of a highlight reel. And of course, it took fucking forever for this trial to happen. Oh, I guess the trial didn't begin until April 2025. But in the process, there's a lot of like lawyer shenanigans that go on. She has to plead. She has to decide what she's going to, Anyway, and it happened in the Supreme Court of Victoria at Morwell with a jury because she didn't want the trial to go on in her hometown. She was like, I want to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, they might have had to anyway.
No, they asked her. She specifically requested her trial be in a different town.
Yeah.
And they have to honor that. That's like part of their legal system. Is like if you want to not be tried in that location, they have to kind of honor your request.
But I almost feel like they might have had to come to that decision because I wonder if like as they were trying to pick a jury, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean like obviously Erin wanted that because the people that she killed were beloved by their community.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
No one's going to look on her favorably.
Wouldn't have been able to regardless.
Either way, she asked for it. But they have this trial and everyone is there anyway. Erin's there, clearly. Simon's there. Ian's there. Dr. Webster's there. Funky Tom's there. Erin's weird internet friends are there. Her crime compadres are there. Everyone is there.
Are the kids there?
No.
Okay.
Thank God. The most interesting part by far is what Erin herself had to say, though.
Yeah, always.
It's terrible. We'll get to that. So here's the trial evidence. Quote, we're going to give a little wiki roundup on this. The Crown presented several witnesses, including Patterson's husband, Simon Patterson, Ian Wilkinson, child protection practitioner Katrina Cripps, and several medical personnel who attended to Patterson and her family, including Dr. Webster. He is an all-star on the stand. He tells them everything.
Holly's crush.
I love him. The court also hears video testimony from the children. So they do have to testify, but it's a video that they just then play. Thankfully, they don't have to be there for their parents' trial, which is, in America, they probably would have been brought into court. So that's really nice. In addition, the prosecution presented several expert witnesses, including the mycologist Thomas May. So Funky Tom himself was there, and colleague Camille Truong, the toxicologist Dr. Dimitri Gerastamalos, Plant Health Australia Diagnostics Manager David Lovelock, Digital Forensic Science expert Matthew Sorrell, and Victoria Police Digital Forensic Officer Shaman Fox Hendry. That's a lot of experts.
Mm-hmm.
The court also heard from several police personnel, including Detective Senior Constable Kong Tran, Detective Sergeant Luke Farrell, and Detective Leading Senior Constable Stephen Eppingstall. All of that is just the prosecution. The defense just had Erin.
Oh, wow.
They only called Erin. There was no experts that could back her up at all. There was nothing. And here's the thing. Expert witnesses are also bought and paid for. You can have an expert to say just about anything on the stand. Right. I hate to tell you guys that, but it's true. They literally only trotted out Erin.
Mm-hmm.
The prosecutor presented Erin with all of the evidence that she had most certainly not purchased those mushrooms, and that, in fact, they knew she had picked and dried them herself. And she cried.
Yeah.
She either cried, acted like a child, or morphed into a weirdly smug asshole this whole time. She did herself no favors on the stand. She said, okay, yes, she did forage for mushrooms. She did dehydrate mushrooms. She did lie to the police, but only because she was embarrassed.
That would be the only thing to say.
She said that she had accidentally stored the mushrooms she foraged in the forest in the same bin as the mushrooms that she bought at Woolworths. So she took them out of the package and dumped them all into the same bin, which is very strange. And she didn't know these dehydrated mushrooms were death caps. She just thought they were like fun mushrooms.
Right.
Mixed them all together. Then she accidentally added the wild mushrooms to the Wellington duck cells. She didn't plan on it. She just did it by accident. You know, the mushrooms that you have to rehydrate before cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. And then when everyone started to get sick, she realized that she had made a stupid mistake and she must have picked mushrooms that made your tummy hurt. Right. And she got really scared. So she just told a lot of lies. And the whole thing is just a big, silly, awful mistake. She did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But of course,
that's the only way to go.
Of course, she had to lie for years. Mm-hmm. For years, you had to lie. Okay. The prosecutor went on, okay, then why did you dump the dehydrator? Erin said she did that because people were accusing her of poisoning her family intentionally, and she didn't want to get blamed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which Dr. Webster, the health department, and the police confirmed would not have happened if she had just admitted she had foraged those mushrooms.
Right.
Too late now. Okay, then why didn't she get sick? You made it, you accidentally added poison mushrooms. Why didn't you get sick? Erin said when talking about the plate, she was like, well, I had an orange plate just because that's what I grabbed. That's just what I did. I don't know. And she said she must have just not had as many death caps in her portion of a beef Wellington. They just must have all mixed into all the other ones and not gone into hers. She swears she did get sick, just not as sick as them. And remember, she had elevated potassium levels after all. And really, she didn't eat as much beef Wellington as the others did. And also, to be fair, she said her mother-in-law brought a cake and Erin didn't get diarrhea until she ate some of that cake. So it was probably the cake and not the beef Wellington. And oh, well, she had always, it would turn out, had a problem with her appearance. She felt really fat and was unhappy with her divorce. So in a fit of sudden bulimia, she immediately threw up her whole lunch after the guests left.
Okay.
That came out on the stand and never anywhere else prior to it one time. That all sounded just as dumb and fake in court as the performance I just gave.
Right.
So
I thought it was great. Oscar.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oscar-worthy.
Yes, thank you. But what about the cancer? Erin, why did you lie about having cancer? Well, she has, of course, an explanation for that, too.
Sure.
She claims she was planning on having gastric bypass surgery, which she didn't want anyone to know about. But she knew that when she was recovering from it, she had to have her in-laws take care of the kids. And she had to tell them something because she would be visibly recovering from a surgery and had to modify her eating habits for a while. So she decided that fake cancer would be the best way to hide her eventual surgery.
Wow.
Okay. Mind you, Erin did have a gastric bypass consultation at a local clinic a month and a half after the lunch poisoning occurred.
Right.
So none of that happened at all. The prosecution was quick to point out, though, that the cancer claim also gave Erin an airtight reason to not have her children there. It's one way to protect your kids from touching any poison. As for all the other evidence, the Funky Tom posts, the locations, the phone switches, the 4 factory phone resets that she lied to police about, the missing phone that she lied to police about, the fact that she gave them a dummy phone, the different color plate, the Chinese grocery store bullshit, Erin simply denied any of that ever happened.
Oh, boy.
Coincidences? They were all coincidences or fiction, she said. She was just idly curious about mushrooms, so she looked them up on iNaturalist. So people do that. She got a new phone, so she reset her other phone. And she was a little bit cheeky with those silly police officers for a little bit of fun. Mind you, this trial went on for a while, and that's what she said the whole time. Didn't happen. Lies. Everyone tells lies. They are all trying to victimize me. I'm a sad little victim. And also, I feel fat.
This is wild that the trial even went on.
I know.
This long.
Like, why are you even talking to this big baby? Clearly,
especially because there's no one else. It's just Erin.
It's just her. Yeah. On July 7th, 2025. So this trial is still a couple months long. It starts in April. This is July, just the trial. Erin Patterson was found guilty of 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. On July 30th, 2025, so exactly on the dot a few years later, the Supreme Court of Victoria barred Patterson from selling her house in Leongatha to potentially satisfy any future claims for compensation or restitution. Yikes. Justice Beale, the judge, heard victim impact statements from relatives on the 25th of August, and on September 8th, sentenced Patterson to 3 life sentences plus 25 years of imprisonment, all to be served concurrently. She will become eligible for parole in 2056.
Okay.
At which time, I think she'll still be alive.
Yeah.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. And Pastor Ian's statement is particularly moving. He does go on to say many times that he forgives Erin and, is very compassionate about what she did and went through, and because he's a pastor.
Right.
I would never have been able to say that. But again, Ian is a different kind of person. So good for him.
Yeah.
And it was very moving still. She's currently imprisoned at the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre in Western Melbourne. On October 6th, the Victorian Director of Public Prosecutions confirmed it would appeal Patterson's sentence, describing it as manifestly inadequate. Oh, you mean the giant dossier of evidence was inadequate? Great. Okay. On the 3rd of November, the Court of Appeals granted leave for Erin to appeal her guilty verdict, and that is where it all stands right now.
Wild.
Yeah. I cannot imagine how this is going to successfully be appealed because she's just so very obviously guilty.
Yeah.
But we'll see where it goes, I guess.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is
so nuts. The thing I find the most interesting about this case is how modern it is, and how very little, like there's like no photos to find. It was really hard to find.
Oh, of the case?
Yeah, like
there are evidence photos.
No, I know, but like just in general, it's really hard to find like photos for the photo suite.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, like
it's the same like 3 pictures of Erin.
Yeah, I think it's because they only released so many to the public. They have them and like everything was locked down, including her digital footprint.
Okay,
and we don't live in Australia.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I guess I just thought like if she was all over Facebook, but if they locked things down.
Yeah. Her profile's gone. You can't find it. Like a lot of times I'll be able to find their like frozen profile and you can see all their posts, but that's not true of Erin. Like hers is gone. And this was like media wise, it was huge. I mean, I heard of it here, but it was very, very, very big in Australia. Right. So I think that they tried to kind of lock it down. So the frenzy went away. But you're right. It is weird that you can't find. There are like 100 case evidence photos that are made available to the public. Most of them are just of clutter in the kitchen and things like we found the relevant, like, here's the mushrooms, here's the scale, here's the dehydrator, here's this. I mean, that stuff's interesting. The rest is just a house, you know, kind of. So
I actually like appreciated it, the fact that it was like so very little to look up. And mostly I was just thinking of the kids. I just felt so bad for them.
Me too.
So awful.
Yeah, it is awful. I mean, fortunately, there isn't a like proper crime scene to look at. There's no like bloody evidence or anything like that, thankfully. But
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that's the rest of the mushroom murderess.
So wild mushrooms.
Don't pick mushrooms and eat them, guys. Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. You can buy them. You can buy mushrooms that taste good. I know you have to buy things and money's hard to come by sometimes, but like, please don't just eat something you find under an oak tree.
Sure.
Because the ones that'll kill you look so much like the ones you can eat. Like, it's so close. It's so hard to make, and they taste the same. It's said that death caps like smell and taste pleasant. People who have eaten them are like, they're good. I mean, I almost died, but they taste good.
But they're great. I'd do it again.
Yeah, I mean, like, you would never eat them and be like, this tastes weird. Something's weird. It would never faze you to eat one. Like, you know, sometimes with things that are found in nature that are poisonous, they're bitter or they're, because we're supposed to want to spit them out because they're dangerous. Or they're brightly colored as a warning. Like in the animal world, if a frog is like really bright or something, chances are it has toxins in it.
Yeah.
Mushrooms don't follow any of those rules.
Right.
They'll taste pleasant. They'll smell the same. They'll look the same. You will not know they're going to hurt you.
That's right. If you guys go back to listen to the first episode, I give you all the do's and don'ts.
Yes, you do.
Mushroom foraging.
You do. And you should definitely listen to Leslie on that one because they are pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
So, toast?
Toast.
To there's a lot of people in this case. It's a rather big one. I would say Dr. Webster, obviously.
Yep.
He did a good job. He saw it from the beginning. The kids and Ian and Simon, who all went through hell, no one deserves that. That's awful.
Right. Anybody else?
And the team of police that like pretty efficiently investigated. I will say this was very thoroughly looked into.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, I don't find that this investigation was anything but good. So cheers to all of them.
Cheers. Right, and we do have a new patron.
Get out! Tell me all about it.
Oh, I will. So we are saying cheers. Or toast, I guess. A big toast to our new... It's been a while, guys. Not to...
Leslie, don't say that.
I know.
You're not supposed to mention it or make it awkward, remember?
No, I'm sorry,
We talked about etiquette.
Anyway.
God.
We need validation.
I know, we really do.
Anyway, a big toast to our newest best fiend, Auntie the Bendito, which I thought was perfect for this episode with all the ants involved.
Cheers!
Auntie the Bendito.
All right. We love you.
Our newest best fiend.
Best fiend.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps up our mushroom murders. We're gonna get pretty festive after this, so look forward to that. And if we tried to solve our family problems with mushrooms, we would be dead.
Thank you for listening to the We Would Be Dead podcast. Hit subscribe now to never miss an episode. Rate and review our show on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Would Be Dead Pod. And join our Facebook group to discuss the podcast and more.